Hey there everyone, what's going on? Today we have a formation ranking video where I will be ranking the 12 formations that we have in the game. I'd love if we had more, but so far it's just the 12. Now, everything I'm going to say in this video, be it my ranks here that I'm going to be giving these formations and the setups that I will show you guys as kind of suggestions for you guys to try if you want. Both of those are entirely my opinions, so just take them with a grain of salt. I have won a gold medal with each formation in the game, but I don't have like the same amount of experience with each formation out there. So if you disagree with me, make sure to comment below and we'll get a discussion going, guys. So the 5 ranks we have here today are terrible, mid, good, excellent and best. There's only one best formation out there and I will let you wait until we get there, guys. So let's start off with the 4-2-1-3. Now the 4-2-1-3 I'd say is a pretty mid to good formation. I think it's good. And the reason I don't think it's better than that is because of the 2 CDMs, central defensive midfielders. In my opinion, in score match, there isn't much use for more than 1 CDM in a formation. 2 is just a bit of a waste in my opinion, because that player could have well been of more use either at the back or in attack. And this formation is good for counter-attacking. The 3 up top are perfect for throwing that long ball and counter-attacking, just absolutely perfect. There is a bit of a big space between the attackers and the midfield and defense, which is problematic, especially when you're faced with 4-4-2s, 5-3-2s and other kind of well-established formations. Now, the next formation we have is the 3-1-2-1-3. Now, also, I wanted to mention that I am in the Infinity Arena, so everything that I'm going to say and the formations I'm going to suggest to you during the video as you see this are based on that, on the fact that I am in the Infinity Arena, so I have to deal with volleyball and a ton of other unpleasant stuff. So 3-1-2-1-3, I'm going to say that it is a terrible formation. Unfortunately, you can make it work, it's just very, very difficult. And in competitive environments like the Infinity Arena, as I said, or leagues, cups, you know, events, the back line is just like 3 defender formations are pretty susceptible to conceding goals, and this goes with every formation with like 3 defenders. Now, in this case, it's even worse because the formation is very narrow. Like, we can't try balls, we can't try and, you know, spread play and kick balls to the sides of the midfield because the midfield is really compact and there's a lot of, you know, everyone's kind of congested in the middle of the field. It's not a very simple formation to play either. So it's very difficult to play and your success will always be limited because you know the 3 defenders at the back will have a very hard time you know, trying to cover the area because nobody's there to help them. Like, there aren't any midfield. The midfield is practically non-existent. It's just taking up the central space for really no reason. And I mean, I used to use this formation in the early arenas and I like flew through the arenas from 1 to 8 with this formation, but unfortunately, that's where I stopped using it. I did win a couple of gold medals with it just for fun, and you know, you can make it work. So, another formation that many people make work, obviously, it's the most popular formation in the game for bad reason, more so, is the 3-5-2. I'm going to place it as excellent. It isn't the best because, see, the fact that there are 3 defenders in this formation makes it very easy to attack against, you know? Like, when I see a guy playing 3-5-2, it's usually volleyball, so there's that. This formation is completely exploited because of its really good kind of option for volleyball, very wide midfielders, so, you know, people just throw the ball onto the sides of the midfield, then just throw the ball to their hammers. And, you know, that's the whole volleyballing garbage that we have to deal with, unfortunately. But I really have a very easy time attacking it, because I always find the space to attack at the back, seeing as this is a 3-man formation. It's just a matter of kind of getting past the midfield, and the 3 defenders are usually not in a kind of good position to intercept my attacks. It's not the best formation in the game. Some people will have a problem with that opinion, but I really think that it's not that good. And if volleyball wasn't a thing, I think that less people would use it, much less people. Now, a very similar formation to the 3-5-2 is the 5-3-2. Now, the 5-3-2, I have to think here, because I'm just doing this for the first time on video, guys, so bear with me a bit. The 5-3-2 personally kind of fluctuates between good and excellent. I think it's an excellent formation because it has its players spread out perfectly on the field, almost perfectly. There is one formation that is better than this. The 5-3-2 is great. It used to be better. It used to be actually before the update. I'm not sure who will remember this, but before the update, many years back, the 5-3-2, like the wingers on the 5-3-2 were much more forward, so it was kind of like the 3-5-2, and people used to volleyball with a 5-3-2. But apart from the whole volleyballing thing, 5-3-2s are really great, very compact in defense, spread out well, even to attack. There are some problems when it comes to attack, in fact, though, because the 3 midfielders always tend to kind of make that attacking pass, no matter who you play. And the 2 forwards are usually not always in a good position to, you know, make use of it. But seeing as it's really good in defense, many people like it. I don't personally like it, because score match is a much more attacking game than a defending one. Because, you know, whoever scores 2 goals first wins. It's not a matter of defending well, in my opinion. Now, another maybe excellent formation, I'm not sure. 4-1-4-1. So I think this formation is good, but I would put it as excellent, to be honest, but I think I'll leave it at that. I have a very soft spot for the 4-1-4-1, I'll just say that, and I will use it in this weekend's event, so make sure to check it out. I have many event wins with this formation, because I love it. It's the most natural football I have ever played with a 4-1-4-1. It's spread out really well across the field. It's very, very similar to a 4-4-2. It's only the fact that the striker that a 4-4-2 has is thrown into the heart of the defense, which makes it really good for defending, in fact, because if you play a fast defender in the central midfield, you can actually get him to track back and turn this formation into a 5-4-1, essentially. I love this formation, dude. It's really, really great. The only kind of problem you have is that there is only one striker. And with one striker, you'll need someone on the left or right midfield to push in, to make those attacking runs. Find that player who is making the attacking run, and that player will find this striker, hopefully, to, you know, score. It's a lovely formation. I love it. Some people, it's a very rare formation to see nowadays. It's always been that way, I have to say, but I love it so very much. It's so entertaining. The football I end up playing with a 4-1-4-1 is so fun. I really enjoy this formation quite a lot, but that's enough that I'll speak about the 4-1-4-1. But yes, the 3-4-3 is next. I think that the 3-4-3 is a pretty good formation. I think it sits between the good and excellent, if I'd have to say. It's a good formation because it's great for attacking, guys. 3 attacker formations are always going to be perfect for counter attacks. They're always going to be stationed like at the top end of your field when you're defending. So once you get the ball, you can just ping the ball and get your counter attack going. It's really great. In the midfield, it's okay as well for well-stationed players. I usually like playing a running player on either sides of the midfield in the 3-4-3. The problem, as usual, guys, is the 3-man defense, and to kind of counteract that weakness, I usually play very fast defenders. And by fast, I don't mean like explorers or things like that. I mean very fast players like Keane, Simon, Bertini, Intruders. They're all great options at the back because they have to have more speed than usual to cover the extra space that this formation leaves behind, since it's a 3-defender formation. Now we go to the best formation in the game, people, the 4-4-2. So what can I say about the 4-4-2, guys? It's the best formation in the game because it is like the assortment of players. It's really just all over the field. It covers the spaces perfectly. It's very simple to play, very simple to make it work. With nothing against 4-4-2 players, of course, but you know, you don't need much to make it work, seeing as it's covered perfectly. As I said, like 4 defenders, which is great, 4 midfielders, which is also great, and 2 attackers, which is the most balanced way of playing the game. Now, is it entertaining? Can you make it more entertaining than the 4-4-2 zombies you find in the Infinity Arena with guards, commanders everywhere? Definitely. You can use running players in the middle of the field, on the wings of the midfield, like left or right midfielder, to kind of push into the space and make this a 4-3-3 when attacking, and a 4-4-2 when defending. You can try to kind of make that Pep Guardiola kind of football going on. But yeah, not much else to say. The 4-4-2 is the best. It's like I've made quite a few videos of the 4-4-2. You can check them out. You can find videos of 4-4-2s everywhere because everyone plays it, and for good reason, of course. Now, another one of my very big favorites is the 4-3-3, which is an excellent formation. It's really good, and I'm surprised that not many people use it, not more people, because I think that it has so much potential, but the potential is ruined because when I see 4-3-3 suggestions, for example, on Facebook, I always end up seeing people use guards and commanders in the middle of the field, and that kind of slows the formation down too much. Like, right, I have a commander in the central midfield, which is great for shooting balls up the field and getting a counter-attack going in most cases. But you'll need a creative player, or you can just have running players, which is something I've used quite a lot in this gameplay. In fact, I'm using Simon in this portion of the midfield, where he's doing really great. It's not the best formation because the 4-4-2 is just better. It has a better kind of assortment. It's better placed in the field. The players are better kind of positioned in the field, and the 4-3-3 unfortunately lacks that kind of depth in the midfield, unfortunately. Now the 5-2-1-2. I'm going to place this as a mid formation. It has a very good pro and a very bad con. Now the big pro or big advantage is that it is a rock in defense. Essentially, with the 2 CDMs and 5 defenders, you have 7 people defending, guys. 7 people defending, which is insane. Now, again, as I said, there is an extra CDM. You don't need 2 CDMs in score match, I'd say. And the biggest disadvantage of all is that it is kind of congested in the middle of the field when you go up the field and go to the central attacking midfielder and the 2 strikers. They usually are kind of too in the middle of each other, if you catch my drift. They're too congested. It's complicated to attack with. To make things easier, you should use a central attacking midfielder that kind of plays the ball back to the wingers, or the fullbacks rather, in this formation, like, you know, a guard, an engine, or Johnson, for example, someone who can kind of shift play and make things easier for you to go up the field. But it has its obviously very big disadvantages. Now, the 4-1-2-1-2 is an excellent formation as well. Now, as you can see, the 4-1-2-1-2 is very similar to a 4-4-2, but I don't think it's the case, really. It's a very complicated formation to make work, in my experience. I've won a bunch of gold medals with it. I love the formation, but I haven't used it in a while because it is too congested. the 1-2-1 in the formation, like the central defensive midfielder to the central attacking midfielder, they're very congested. It's a bit awkward to kind of make the ball kind of shift around the team when you're playing a 4-1-2-1-2, but it's excellent. It's really good and very fun as well. But not many people manage to make it work. Though if you manage to make it work, you'll have a bunch of fun with it. Now we go on to the 4-2-3-1, which I'd say is a very mid formation solely because of that one striker, basically. Having one striker in score match is always going to be a problem, because that one striker is almost never ready to make a counter attack happen for you. Also, the fact that the three forwards behind the striker, they're much further back compared to a 4-3-3, compared to a 3-4-3, for example. So, you know, whenever I try a 4-2-3-1, I always end up facing that same problem. You can still make it work. Again, you can win gold medals with it, but you're always going to be at a disadvantage with it. So I don't recommend pushing on with it for far too long without experimenting with other formations, in fact. Now, we can close things off with the 4-1-2-3. Now, the 4-1-2-3 is a very, very attacking formation. We have basically 5 defenders and 5 attackers. That is basically also the problem with this formation, because of the fact that there is a very big gap between the attackers and the midfielders. So once opponents go up, progress the ball up and, you know, overcome the attacking side of your team, your defense is basically, the midfield is basically non-existent. But it's perfect for counter attacks. I don't think there's a better formation for counter attacks in this formations in this game. So yeah, we have quite a few excellent formations. That might not be the case. There might be some bias going on here, but I think that this makes sense. Honestly, you can make any formation I've listed work, guys. It's only a matter of practice, having some patience, and having an interest in trying different things out. So if you've disagreed or agreed with me, whatever, guys, let me know in the comments, and make sure to like this video, because it's very important to have your support. I really thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.